You've heard it 1,000 times before. If they wanted to, they could. If he wanted to, he could. If she wanted to, she would. It's the quote people throw around like confetti on social media. Missed a call. If he wanted to, he would call you. Didn't get flowers. If he wanted to, he would show up. And sometimes, yes, it's true. People show you who they are by what they do. But what if? What if they actually wanted to and they just couldn't?
Have you ever wanted to read a letter that was meant for someone else? Have you ever wanted to travel the world but didn't have the time or the money? If so, you are in the right place. Welcome to In My Voice, the podcast where we read letters and share travel stories about places by our guests. I am your host Bwanaheri, and each week I'll guide you through these two different yet fascinating worlds. In the first segment, we'll read letters written to listeners like you about a variety of subjects, from heartwarming stories to heartbreaking experiences. These letters offer a unique perspective on the human experience. Some of them will make you laugh, while the others will bring a tear to your eye. But they all have one thing in common. They are written from the heart. In the second segment, we will embark on a journey to explore the world through travel stories. We'll visit exotic destinations, meet interesting people, and experience the joys and challenges of traveling. Whether you are a seasoned traveler or someone who's always dreamed of seeing the world, you will find something to inspire you in these stories. So, join me every week as we dive into these two fascinating worlds. In My Voice. I promise you won't be disappointed. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode.
Hello, voices. Welcome back to the In My Voice podcast, where we say out loud things we are secretly thinking about. I am Bwanaheri, and today I am revisiting this phrase, if they wanted to, they could, because it's too simple for a life that's way too complicated. Here's the thing. The statement, if they wanted to, they would, gives closure. It's clean. It saves you from overthinking. But real life is messy. Let me ask you, have you ever wanted to call someone, but your pride whispered, they might think you are desperate? Or wanted to spoil someone, but your wallet screamed louder than your heart? Or cared so much, but life was beating you so badly you couldn't even show up for yourself? I have. There were days when I couldn't even show up for myself, let alone someone else. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know how to. Sometimes the silence is not rejection. It's someone fighting invisible battles. That's the side of the story that this quote never tells. And you know what? This isn't just me saying it. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, Anne, and she broke it down in such a real way. Just listen to this.
That is literally TikTok, Instagram, every social media's favorite statement. If he wanted to, he would. And you see, the crazy thing is, it's usually he. They don't even say she. So I can give 3 different perspectives on that same statement. I would like to think that when they say if he wanted to, he would, usually they refer to a guy who actually can, has the means to do it, but he's not doing it because you're probably like a side piece and he can't invest that much into you because, he's not into you. That maybe he's just in it for the other benefits, just to play around with you, and that is it. So he's not doing it because you are probably not the main person or the person that he wants to do it for. Then the other thing is still, the other perspective is if he wanted to, he would. Personally, I believe that people would actually want to do something for you. They want to take you out. They probably want to buy you, the flowers, the what, do all those romantic things for you. But probably that means vambie, ziganye, chitegera. So that if he wanted to, he would. I think he wants to, but he can't because the means can't let him. The other perspective is, usually, there's a way in which they believe, culture-wise, they believe that guys would do anything for the woman that they love. Whether they broke or actually broke, the men always find a way, they always figure it out. So when they say if he wanted to, he would, no abanga means aja kunonya engeri. I would not really advise for a broke person again, borrowing like too much money just to impress this person, just because he wants to show that he can. But ideally, I think the other perspective of that of this statement is when they expect a man to do whatever it takes. If he had no money, he will look for getting it and doing that thing for you. So basing on that, people tend to say if he wanted to, he would. Yeah.
See what I mean? That's the nuance this quote misses. Sometimes, yes, it's true. A guy isn't doing things because he doesn't see you as his person. But other times, it's not about the lack of desire. It's about the lack of the means or the weight of cultural expectations. And that's why I want to share this personal story, and I know many of us can relate to it. I call it the broke but in love season. There was a time I really, really, really liked someone. You know that feeling where you just want to show up for them, take them out, buy them gifts, surprise them with flowers, do all the cute things. But here's the truth. My wallet and my heart weren't in the same WhatsApp group. Rent was due. My side hustles weren't working well, and I was basically surviving on black tea and vibes. So every time she said, let's hang out, I would panic inside because it wasn't about the time. It was about the money I didn't have. Now, imagine how that looked to her. She probably thought, if he wanted to, he would. But I did want to. I just couldn't. And instead of explaining, I stayed quiet because pride is louder than honesty sometimes. That experience taught me something. Sometimes people care more than they can show. But also, if someone keeps making you feel like an option, don't ignore the red flags. There is a difference between being broke and being careless. One is circumstance, the other is choice. Think about it. Your friend doesn't call you when you're going through a difficult time. And you think, wow, fake friend. But what if they are at home nursing their own sick parent? Or they are sick themselves? Or broke? Or simply afraid of saying the wrong thing? Or your partner doesn't post you on social media and instantly it is, they are hiding me. They're not proud of me. They can't show me off. But maybe they are just private. Or dodging the nosy aunties in the comments. Because you know our Ugandan aunties. They'll start asking, how is that? Should I prepare my gomesi? When are we eating the pilau? Or maybe your sibling stops texting, or your friend doesn't text you anymore and you take it personal. But what if they are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to survive depression? Take this for example. My friend, let's call her Rachel. On the outside, she looked fine, always smiling, posting selfies, even joking around in the group chat. But behind the smile, she was fighting battles none of us could see. She told me later, after some time, just getting out of bed felt like running a marathon. Now, Imagine trying to text someone, "Good morning," when your brain is telling you that you don't even deserve one yourself. To the outside world, she looked distant, she didn't check in as much, she skipped hangouts, and she left messages unread. Some people assumed she didn't care anymore. One even said if she wanted to be here, she would. But here's the truth. She did want to. She just couldn't. Her silence wasn't rejection. It was survival. And yet, here's the flip side. If someone is constantly online, posting memes, posting stories, always visible, but never replying to your messages, that's not depression. That's a choice. And that's a red flag. So there is nuance. Some people disappear because they are drowning quietly. Others disappear because they simply don't value you enough. And learning the difference, that's where the empathy meets wisdom. We all somehow know of a guy who really likes a girl. He wishes he could take her out to nice places, buy her flower surprises with little gifts. But he's struggling financially. He can barely afford his lifestyle, let alone the roses. Now, does he want to do all those things? Absolutely. But he can't. Not yet. And on the flip side, there is a girl who deeply loves her partner, but she's battling her own demons. Anxiety, depression, trauma she hasn't spoken about. So when she goes quiet, it's not because she doesn't care. It's because she's barely holding herself together. In both cases, the desire is there. The ability isn't. And that's important to recognize. Here's the thing. We judge love by actions, but life constantly interrupts action. So maybe it's not always if they wanted to, they would. Sometimes it's if they wanted to, life didn't give them the chance. But there are red flags to this. Let's be clear, because I don't want anyone walking away thinking every absence is excusable. There is a big difference between someone who wants to but can't and someone who chooses not to. If they are always online posting memes and TikToks but never respond to your messages, that's not life's hard. That's a choice. If they only reach out when they need something but vanish when you need them, that's not struggle. That's convenience. And if they constantly leave you hanging while giving attention to everyone else, that's not circumstance. That's priority. See, love sometimes struggles, but it also makes effort, even small ones. Even a "hey, I am not okay, but I'm thinking about you." That tiny effort speaks volumes. So, the wisdom is this. Don't be too quick to assume someone doesn't care. Sometimes people are choosing survival over romance, healing over availability, silence over words they are not ready to say. But at the same time, don't ignore the patterns. A lack of communication over and over is communication. What if, instead of jumping to conclusions, we asked, "Hey, you've gone quiet, are you okay?" Or simply, "I am here whenever you are ready." That's empathy. That's balance. And it allows space for human struggle without making excuses for neglect. What if we stopped measuring love by effort alone and started holding space for imperfection? This doesn't mean tolerating neglect or making excuses for consistent emotional absence. It's about balance. We all want to be chosen, but sometimes the person you want is choosing to survive. So, maybe we can retire the harsh phrase, "If they wanted to, they would." If he wanted to, he would. If she wanted to, she would. And replace it with something wiser. If they didn't, there might be more to the story. But pay attention to which story keeps repeating. Because love is both intention and action. One without the other will always leave you questioning. I'll leave you with this. What's the time you assumed someone didn't care, only to later learn they were struggling? Send me your stories, DM me, comment on this episode, or share this episode with someone who needs to rethink that phrase. Until next time, stay kind, stay human. Don't forget to subscribe to make our stories reach as far and wide as they could. Thank you for listening. My name is Bwanaheri, and this is In My Voice Podcast.